So I just wanted to showcase the behind the scenes to my waxing setup. Ugh. I had to hang my camera on this Gorilla Pod to my actual tripod because this, for some reason, does not dangle down onto my leg. And then we had our light source over there, and then I had to put this towel, and here's the waxing sheet. And we're back. And I just wanted to say hi. How are you guys? Hope you're doing well, and I hope you find, oops, the boobies are it. And I hope you find this video treating you well. I've been waxing at home for a really long time, so I thought I'd come on here and show you guys how I do it at home for really cheap. I'll have an actual cost breakdown below of how much it costs to get yourself started versus going into a salon and getting your entire body waxed. The first thing that you want to do is gather all your materials. You're going to need a wax warmer. I have the GG Honey wax warmer. And the second thing that you really want to get is a wax that goes into it. I have a wax collar that goes around my wax warmer so wax doesn't drip onto my actual wax warmer. But as you can see, I've actually had some accidents, but that's okay. The next thing that you're going to need is wax strips. I use these ones. I have two different types of applicators. I have the GG 100 count AccuEdge wax applicators in large for larger areas like my arms or my legs, and then I also have the smaller popsicle sticks, which I just got from the dollar store because it was cheaper. Next thing that you really want to do is choose the right wax. So there's different types of waxes that you can get. There's soft wax, hard wax, sugar wax, or pre-made wax strips. I use soft wax. Soft wax is a cream or resin based, and it's usually used for strip waxing, hence the reason why I need these wax strips. So you warm it up and you apply a very thin layer over the skin, and then the cloth is pressed on it and removed, which takes off the hair. It's pretty spreadable and is usually used for larger areas like legs or arms. It's really good at picking up the fine hairs. The only thing with soft wax is that it sticks to the skin, so you should only really be applying it once to the skin, and if you miss some areas, go in with a plugger or shave it off and wait until the next time that you're waxing to wax it off. As you can see, I have two waxes. So I have the GG all-purpose honey wax, and then I also have the GG cream wax. The cream wax is a lot better for sensitive skin, whereas the honey wax can be a little bit more sticky on the skin and a bit stringier and a little bit harder to work with. So if you're a first time and a beginner waxer at home, I recommend using a cream wax to begin with because it's a lot easier to work with. So the other type of wax that people use is hard wax. The wax is generally applied warm and it hardens as it cools. It's also known as strip-free waxing because when it hardens, it kind of acts like a strip itself. So you usually use the lip of the hard wax to pull off the wax from your arm. Some of the benefits of using a hard wax is the wax actually grabs onto the hairs instead of grabbing onto the skin. So it's a lot better for people that have sensitive skin. But it's also better for smaller or sensitive areas like the lip or the nose or underarms and the bikini area. The downside to it is when you're using it on larger areas like the legs, it can actually create breakage of the hair towards the end of the pull. So the next thing that you really want to do is make sure that your hair is the right length. So you want to aim for about a 1/4 inch of growth. Too short and the wax won't be able to grab the hair enough to pull it out of the root. And if it's too long, you'll be in massive amounts of pain because you have little to no control over which tangled or unruly hairs grab onto the wax as you apply it. So if the hair is longer than a 1/4 inch, you can trim it shorter. I usually like using the Schick Hydro silk trim razor. It has a razor on one end and then a battery powered trimmer on the other. It honestly is a lifesaver. So now prepping your skin, exfoliation is key. It'll remove the dead skin that blocks the hair follicles and causes ingrown hairs. And then you also want to make sure that your skin is clean and free of any oils or dirt or any moisturizers. That will help the wax adhere to the hair follicles. You can also apply baby powder to the area. That also helps the wax to adhere to your hair rather than your skin. Taking a warm shower the day of will also help open up your pores and soften your skin, making the hair removal process a little less painful. Avoid retinol products in chemical peels or like microdermabrasion because that leaves your skin extremely sensitive, and if you were to wax right after, you might lose some skin in the process. So the next thing that we're going to do is heat and test the wax. Make sure that the wax has melted all the way and is not too runny. There's still a little bit more melting that it needs to do. You don't want it to be too runny in consistency because that means that you've overheated the wax. It should be more of a syrupy consistency. The next step is to actually apply the wax, and we want to apply the soft wax in the direction of the hair growth. My hair growth is going down, but it's also kind of going diagonally. So wax this in sections. Because we're using soft wax, make sure that you're applying the wax in really, really thin layers. Okay. So we're gonna just apply it like that. Now moving on to the next step, we have to pull off in the opposite direction of the hair growth. We're gonna apply this strip and firmly press down to make sure that the strip is adhering to the wax. You wanna hold the skin taut, and so you wanna, at the flick of a wrist, quickly pull back. You don't wanna pull up, you want to pull as close to the skin as possible, because pulling up, what that will do is it can actually cause a hair follicle to break underneath the skin. So if the hair follicle is broken underneath the skin, you'll notice that the hair will grow back within 2 to 3 days instead of lasting the full 2 weeks that you should be experiencing with waxing when it's pulled out from the root. So we're gonna go back and pull. You can see the hair that was pulled out, the black dots, that you know was exactly pulled out of the root because that is an actual hair follicle root. So you can actually reuse the same strip more than once. So we can go over and do another section now. We're gonna go this way this time. We're gonna reuse the same strip and then apply it this way. Make sure it's firmly pressed down. Hold the skin taut and pull back. And if there's any remaining wax, we can just go over it with the strip until all of it's been removed. So the other thing that you can do to reduce the amount of pain that you experience when you're waxing is, so right after you pull the strip, apply pressure right in the area that you just pulled from. So we're gonna pull and then we're gonna apply pressure. Some of the hair that was removed. So after you've waxed all your area, you may realize that there's still a bit of residue that's left over from the wax. Actually go and take a wax remover and gently agitate the wax and remove it. If you don't have a wax remover, any oil will do: baby oil, castor oil, almond oil, coconut oil, anything that can break down the residue. Definitely don't go in with water because you won't be able to get rid of the wax and it's gonna remain on your skin, and we don't want that. And if you see any sort of inflammation or redness occur, you can apply aloe vera to calm down some of the inflammation. After you're done waxing, you want to take proper care of your skin afterwards. One of the things is let your skin breathe after you're done waxing. So don't wear any tight-fitting clothes like leggings or any heavily perfumed body products, lotions, or deodorant, because it's probably just going to irritate your skin even more. So after the first 24 hours have passed, you can gently exfoliate the skin to help prevent any ingrown hairs. Don't forget to moisturize. I like to use this cocoa butter. It leaves you smelling like a snack, and it honestly feels so nice. That's pretty much it for this tutorial on how to wax yourself at home. I'm going to be answering a few general FAQs, so keep watching if you guys are interested in that. I have enough money to pay someone to wax me, and then the bill came in and I was like, damn, this is expensive. I just spent over $1,000 in the year to wax my body. Like, that is crazy. You honestly save so much money doing it at home. And that's what I did when COVID hit and we went into quarantine and your girl lost her job because can't pay $100 to get myself waxed every month. That shit hurts. The shit hurts real bad. Damn, I'm weird. So I wanted this to be a little bit more of a casual, just explaining some commonly asked questions, and hopefully these are helpful as well. So this is the section of waxing at home FAQ. The first question is, will waxing make me break out? Yeah, it's very possible that waxing might break you out, especially if you have sensitive skin or if you're waxing a sensitive area, like specifically your upper lip, your cheeks, your chin, your chest, and your back. So those are the main areas to look out for. If you don't need to wax those areas, I would definitely suggest shaving those areas instead. How can I make waxing less painful? So there's a few ways that you can go about it. So the first one is making sure that your skin's actually hydrated before you go in for a waxing session or you wax yourself. When you have dehydrated skin, your skin ends up being tighter. The wax ends up pulling onto the skin a lot more than it would be if it was properly hydrated. Don't wait too long before getting waxed. So letting the hair grow out too long can actually cause a lot more pain than it would be if the hair was shorter, because think about it, the wax is pulling onto a longer piece of hair, so by the time it gets to the root, there's a longer period of time that it was in the pulling process. Whereas if it's a shorter amount of hair, it's just less hair to remove, so it doesn't hurt as much. But obviously your hair can't be too short, otherwise the wax won't be able to grab onto it and pull it out of the root. Don't wax before you get your period, especially if you're going to do a Brazilian. Either get waxed about a week before your period or a week after your period. Hormone fluctuations make your skin sensitive, especially down there. Ouch. It honestly makes me cringe thinking about that. Thinking about the fact of getting waxed either on your period. However, this is an embarrassing story. So I get really irregular periods, and I once went in for a waxing session. I had no idea I had gotten my period. So like, I stripped down butt naked, and this woman is like waxing me and like everything. Like, she didn't say anything. And then afterwards, I look at my underwear and I'm like, holy shit. I had my period, and this poor woman had to wax me while I was on my period with like no tampon or pad. Oh god, it was embarrassing. I was mortified after, to be honest. So the next frequently asked question is, how long will my waxing session last? It really depends on what your hair growth cycle is. So the rough range is usually between 3 to 6 weeks. I'm definitely closer to the 3-week mark because my hair grows back really quickly, and I also have really thick, coarse hair. Usually by the 2-week mark, I start to see stubble. Around 3 weeks, the follicle has actually come out of the skin. And also depending on the way that the hair was pulled or the different growth cycles your hair is at, you might experience some patches of hair growing a lot quicker than others. Will waxing make my hair grow back thicker? No, that is a myth. Shaving, waxing doesn't make hair grow back thicker. It literally grows back the same. The reason why it appears thicker is just because when you're shaving, it's a blunt cut, so when it comes out, you don't have that fine tip. Whereas with waxing, the hair gradually does get finer as you continue to go through the treatments. And the last question is the question that I actually ask myself all the time, Why do my legs not feel completely smooth after waxing? Our hair is actually within 3 different growth phases. So even after waxing, there's still some hairs that were just getting ready to come out of the skin, but obviously weren't out of the skin, so you couldn't pull them out. So you might notice a few hairs coming in a few days after waxing, and that's just because they were in a different growth cycle. Usually it takes about 3 to 4 waxing sessions in the same area consistently, so every 4 weeks, for you to grab all of the hairs at the different growth cycles, and then you should be completely smooth after that. I could not recommend waxing at home enough. It is a time saver, it is a money saver, and honestly, the way that your skin feels for the 2 weeks after waxing, it just does not compare to shaving. The only reason I'm shaving certain areas of my body right now, like my underarms or my Brazilian, is because I'm going through a laser. My ear is itchy. When you're getting lasered, you can't wax those specific areas. I'd actually love to do a video eventually just talking about my experience. So if you guys have any other questions regarding waxing techniques or help or product recommendations, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. I'd be more than happy to help you guys in navigating this little space. But until the next video, peace guys.